Yo-yo and hello, my name is Lydia, and on today's episode of my 25-pound yo-yo, we will be talking about how to look great on your beach vacation after we just had a year and a half of pandemic. Yes, I know many of us have gained weight and we don't exactly look and feel our best right now, but because we've been locked up for so long, we're really itching to get out there and enjoy vacation. So this episode will be talking about what clothes we should be wearing and how do we pose for those pictures so that we can look and feel our best and enjoy our vacation, because you know what, we only live once. So let's get right into it. So as you're getting ready to go away on your beach vacation, the first thing that you'll probably be shopping for is your bikini. So I'm going to show you a couple different bikinis that I wear when I go away, with a lot of the emphasis on the types of bottoms that I wear, because for me that's, I guess, my problem area, that I'm always looking for something that is flattering. So the first one I'm going to show is a classic high-waisted full coverage bottom. Now this type of bottom, it can be helpful for a lot of women who want to cover more of their stomach and they feel that this gives them more slimming. Now honestly, for me, I don't really like this style. I'm showing it because it's popular right now. I know my daughter likes high-waisted bikini bottoms. For me, I find them a little, I don't know, grandma-ish. I don't like this much coverage. I also don't agree that if you are covering more, it's therefore more slimming. I actually find sometimes just the right cut, even if it shows more skin, can be more flattering. But there are some pros to this where it does cover, especially like the lower part of my stomach, which could be helpful if that is a problem area for you, as well as I find that this one does cover more of the back, so my bum is more covered than on other swimsuits. Now let's contrast that with a couple other different styles of bottom, and I'll tell you what I like versus what I don't like. Okay, so now this is a bottom that I actually like quite a bit. It does show more stomach than the other one, but I don't know, I find that this look on me is actually quite flattering. It's a little bit smaller in the back. It doesn't come up as high. I don't like bottoms that come up too high. I find it makes your butt look long. That's just my thing. I prefer it actually to be a little bit shorter. I like in general how this looks on me, but I don't have a very hourglassy shape. I'm a little bit boxy in my waist. So I find if I want to look a little bit more shapely, if I hike it up a little bit higher on the waist, it kind of gives more of an illusion of being shaped that way. Now I don't want it to go really high. I don't find that look attractive. It reminds me of early 1990s kind of look, and I don't know, I just don't find that flattering. But just a little bit higher on the hips does help a little bit with the shape, and I do prefer a little bit less material for myself on the stomach. So this is a favorite bikini bottom for me. It is uniform all the way across. It's nice and smooth. There's no extra detailing, but it serves its purpose, and I find it overall to be fairly flattering. Okay, let's try another bikini bottom. Now this one I like because it has these little ties on the side, and I find that when you have a little bit of detail, especially if it's a string tie or ribbon, it does give a bit of distraction to the eye, and it does give a little bit more of a slimming effect. So I find that this one from the front probably looks more slimming than the previous one. The problem with this one though is I still look a little bit boxy. I still look a little bit like my waist isn't very defined. Well, I don't really have a very defined waist, so that's why it's like that anyways. And this one doesn't also give me the same flexibility, I guess the way that it's cut in order to pull it up on the sides to give that hourglassy feel. So even though this one is my favorite from the front, and I really like how the ties look, and I like how the back looks on this one as well. Overall, it's not my favorite. The one before was my favorite because it gave me the flexibility of wearing it like this or pulling it up to give a better shape on the bottom. I guess my point is you need to try on different styles to see what will look better. It might surprise you. It's not always the bikini that has the most coverage that's going to be the most flattering. Like, I actually think that my stomach looks better, it looks smaller with more skin exposed than it does completely covered up. I don't know, I feel like a stuffed sausage a little bit more with too much material. So I happen to prefer this style on the front, but I like the other one because it gave me some flexibility of wearing it down versus wearing it up to help create that illusion. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is how we wear our sarong. So our sarong is what we typically grab as our quick cover up when we are at the beach or the pool. Now there's different ways that we can wear this. Now the most common one is when we grab it and we just tie it quickly around our waist. So often that is you grab it and you tie it around your waist. And it provides coverage. It's a cover up and you can wear it on the beach. And yeah, you feel like, okay, I'm not completely walking around in a bikini, completely exposed, I have some coverage on. But is it the most flattering way to wear it? I personally don't like just tying it around my waist, and that's because I don't have much of a waist. Maybe if I had a small waist and wider hips, it would look nice on me. But I find that when I just wear it like this, I am a box. I am very straight up and down. Number one, there's no waist, there's no hips. I don't like the look of it. So I will show you the ways that I do like to wear my sarong. Number one, I like to wear it like a dress. So like this, crossed behind the hair. This by far is my go-to. This is how I like to wear my sarong because I find that when I wear it like this, it's like a little mini dress and it pretty much fits me the way that most of my sundresses fit me anyways. Nice coverage, nice lines. I feel covered. I feel like I still look pretty. I like how the shape fits me. This is my go-to. This is the most flattering way I can wear my sarong. If I don't feel like wearing it as a dress, or maybe my bikini top is really, really wet because I've been swimming and I don't want to make the sarong wet, well then I'm going to want to either put it under my bust or put it around my waist. When I put it under my bust, here's a little trick. I take half of it and I put it underneath my bikini top. Okay? That's going to give my sarong a little bit more stability. So I don't have to tie it super tight and it will still stay up because it's attached to my bikini. So I can take both ends and put them through my top if I like. So I took one end from the top and one end from the bottom. And I can just leave them like that. Or if I need a little bit more security, I can tie them. And then this gives me the option of keeping my wet top, not wetting my sarong, but still gives me some coverage. So it's like a dress in the back. And it's comfortable. Now, if I want to go to the waist tie, I usually have to play with it a little bit more because I find that the generic waist tie, it just makes my waist look boxy. I don't like it. So this being the generic waist tie, I don't like it. I feel like I look very square. So I can play with the angles a little bit. Maybe pull it up on one side and down on the other. A little bit of a slit to try to create more of a shape. Or after tying it, I can do an extra fold, either bringing it a little bit lower or up on the sides, but making it just a little bit snugger in certain spots so that it gives more of a shape. So I encourage you, like when you're wearing your sarong, find out what styles you like in the mirror before going to the beach, that you can quickly go to them and you'll know that you look great even without a mirror. So for me, I like the dress style. And then I also like the under the bikini, but I tie it through the middle part of the bikini, so that way my sarong doesn't get wet and it still looks nice. The last thing I hate doing is like grabbing a sarong and then like I don't know how I look and I'm fussing with it and I'm rolling it and I'm asking my boyfriend, how does this look? How does this look? Is that okay? Is my butt hanging out? No, know what styles you like with your sarong ahead of time, and that way you'll feel like you're rocking it when you go to the beach or the pool. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at is how to wear your shorts and which shorts you should be bringing. Now the first thing I'm going to show off are shorts that are too small. Okay, So I know that a lot of us have gained weight over the pandemic, and even if you can still get into some of your clothes, they may no longer be flattering, and wearing clothing that is too small is not going to make you look or feel any better about yourself. So here's an example of shorts that I was wearing before that are not technically too small for me, but they are a little bit tighter than they used to be. But you see, when they're tighter, they dig in, and parts of your leg, like your thigh, they start to bulge out, okay? You're gonna get more divots at the waistline and around the legs, and it's not gonna be as flattering as wearing a larger size. I know it's difficult. In your head, you'd be like, but this is a small, and I'm still a small. I want to wear a small. But are you going to feel confident, or are you going to be constantly checking the little bits of pudge that are sticking out underneath the seams or over top of the waist? So now I'm going to contrast this look with a pair of shorts that are one size bigger. Now you see, with these shorts, all the lines are smooth. Okay, there is nothing that is poking out on the bottom. There is nothing that is like sticking out over the top. If I were to pull the waist tighter, you can see if they were too small, look what happens to my waistline versus when they fit, it's smooth, right? Like, no, my body is not perfect. There is fat here, but it makes it look worse when the waistline is tight, because then everything starts to stick out and bulge. Same thing with a shirt. Don't wear a tight shirt, and especially with tight shorts, because you're just going to push all your fat out to the holes, and you'll feel like a sausage. All the fat will get squished into the bottom, or squished out the arms, or squished through. By wearing tight clothing, you're just going to draw emphasis to the areas that you don't want to draw emphasis to. So even though it might be hard to admit that you need to go up a size, you will actually look slimmer if you wear the bigger size, because nothing will be digging in. Okay, next we're moving on to dresses. So you're going to want to have dresses both for sundress for daytime wear, as well as something nice to wear in the evenings. Now, picking the right sundress for your vacation, you need to factor in the fabric so that it is light and comfortable that you can wear, but also how flattering the shape is on your body. Now, for me, I'm not very tall. I'm only 5'4". I find that my dresses either have to be quite short or quite long. The in-between length does not look good on me. It makes me look a lot wider, especially in the thigh area, and it gives me kind of a big bulbous oval type of shape rather than an hourglass. So this is an example of a short dress. Now I find that if it cuts nice and high, like up here, my upper thigh, this gives me more of the appearance of curves, and it makes my legs look significantly longer than they actually are. I'm also going to show you a long dress, which I also think works. Okay, so in this example, this is a long dress, and it's got a princess line on it, so it cuts right under the bust and then it falls all the way to the floor. I also find that this shape is also flattering on me. It hugs in my petite frame, so my shoulders are not exactly very broad. I'm kind of narrow. I've got a narrow rib cage, so it fits me up here, and then it just cascades straight down to the floor. I also find this shape can be quite flattering on my figure. Now we'll show you the type of shape that does not work on me, which is sort of a middle length, so not short or long. So this is a middle length dress for me, and I don't particularly find this length all that attractive to me. I find that in order for me to create length from here, it needs to cascade to the floor, or it needs to go to about upper thigh so that my legs look longer. This just makes me feel like I have very short legs, and then draws attention to between my knee and my hip. It makes it look wider. So my personal shape does not yield much confidence to me wearing this style of dress. So I think it's worthwhile when you are shopping for your beach dress or your nighttime dinner dress to be aware of what fabrics and styles are going to be both comfortable as well as flattering on your body. And you might be surprised that more coverage doesn't always mean that it is more flattering. So, like, for example, for me, I think I actually look better and slimmer in the shorter dress than I do in this one. So the next thing I want to look at is how shoes can impact our appearance, and I am going to switch back to the short dress to illustrate that. Okay, so when you are wearing a short dress or shorts, wearing heels can slim your legs significantly. Now, I'm not saying you should wear heels all the time, but when you're going out in the evening, heels can make a big difference because it forces you to flex your legs, engage all those muscles, and it makes your legs look a lot leaner. Not to mention the extra height also makes them look longer. So this is what I look like standing flat foot. And then if I were in heels to go up on my toes, all of a sudden my muscles are engaged and my legs look leaner than they do when I'm down on my flats. So you should try that in the mirror. Wear something short, look at what your legs look like when your heels are down, and then look at what they look like when your heels are up. It's forcing you, you can also touch, it's forcing you to use those muscles more, and your legs can look significantly leaner. So if you want to take a few pounds visually off your legs, put on some heels, and your legs will instantly look more toned and longer. Now, the next item of clothing I want to talk about is more general. I'm using jeans to illustrate it, but it can be pretty much anything. And that is making sure that whatever you wear is comfortable. Even if something still looks okay, it might still be on the verge of being too small, and when it's getting too small and uncomfortable, even if nobody else can tell, you will be touching and pulling at it all night long or all day long, and it will be annoying, and that's going to spoil your vacation. So I had shown you before with the shorts, when they're too small, they start to dig in and then little pockets of fat start to spill out, and it's just not as flattering. Well, this is an example of a pair of jeans that I think visually they don't actually look like they're too small, but I can feel it. Now, it's very, very slight. I happen to be very, very, very in tune with my body, and I know that when I gain 3 pounds, little things start to happen. So for example, with me in jeans, if they are skinny jeans like this, I start to notice that the back of the knee starts to tent. What I mean by tent is when there's lots of material, it completely covers my legs in a very comfortable manner. When I feel like I've gained some weight and the jeans are being really stretched to try to cover me, when my legs is in the back of the knee are slightly bent, the jeans no longer, if this is my leg, okay, the jeans no longer go all the way through the crevices like this. They will tent. There will be like a little air pocket because there's not enough fabric to go all the way through the bend. It kind of tents here, okay? When I start to feel that happen, I will constantly be doing this. I will be pulling the jeans either down or I will be pulling them up. I've looked at myself in these jeans in other pictures, and they don't actually look all that different now than they did about 5 pounds ago. They really don't, but they feel different. And that will be the difference between me sitting and being comfortable and doing this the whole time. So you know what? These are not going anywhere. I am not going to bring something with me that is uncomfortable because I will just end up picking at it all night long, even if visually it doesn't look like it doesn't fit. The last thing I'm going to talk about is using layers to help create the illusion of slimness. Now, you can use things like a wrap or a cardigan or a linen shirt to add layers that will give you the visual appearance of being smaller than you are. So if I was out wearing these jeans with a bikini top and it started to get a little bit cool, I could grab something like a linen shirt and I could leave it open. And this by itself instantly makes it appear that my body is smaller than it is. The oversizedness of the shirt gives the illusion that the body underneath is actually significantly smaller. Plus, when you have layers, like I have my bikini on and then I have the shirt on over top, it makes your eye gravitate to the body, and I'm only exposing some of the body, and it makes you think that, oh, this is as big as I am. Right? So you can only see this much of me, so I look a lot smaller. But really, there's way more of me underneath, but I'm not showing all of that. I'm only showing the middle part. It's sort of like when you see a dress and it's got like a white stripe or something in the center. It gives you the illusion that that's only how big the person is. But really, by just adding on a layer on top, it makes you look like you are just significantly smaller. Okay, so that is all I'm going to show you about clothing. The last thing I'm going to do, though, will be to show about how do we pose for those great pictures on our beach vacation. Okay, so I am not an Instagram model, and there are tons and tons and tons of videos out there that can show you how to really, really pose for fantastic pictures to make yourself look better and look Instagram model perfect, and the right lighting and everything to help you take those great pictures. I am not going to go into that amount of detail. I'm just going to give you a couple little tricks to help if you want to look a little bit slimmer in some of your beach photos. Okay, the first one is how to hide the stomach. Okay, a lot of people will try to go behind something, and I guess that works. But if you want to cover it, you don't want to do this because you're just drawing attention to your stomach. You're physically doing that. If you want to put something in front, make it look a little bit less obvious. So if you take your hands just loosely and do that, just like touching the outsides of your nails, just loosely, like it's not deliberately covering your stomach. So instead of posing like this, just posing like this, it looks far more casual, and yet you are blocking your stomach. Okay? That's the first one. Another one you can do is pull your stomach tight with your hands while still showing it off. So I could stand like this, but if I want my stomach to look extra flat, I can put my hands on my stomach and pull it tight. Okay? So I'm actually taking my hands and I'm pulling the skin back to make my stomach look taut, but then trying to look relaxed with it. Okay, so I just tightened up my stomach. When I let go, it goes back. But I can at least do something with my hands. I can pull out, you play with it in the mirror, pull down. Do something with your hands where you're actually manipulating the appearance of your stomach to take that picture. Okay? Another one we can do is you can pull your hips back. So instead of standing like this, if I take my hips and pull them back, that also elongates my stomach. I can pull them back, and I can also twist. You have to find your angles. Play in the mirror. Sometimes you'll do something and go, oh, I don't like that. But play with it, and then you'll find what angle works for you. And then when you go to take that picture, you will have memorized, oh, yeah, I like this. And then you'll do that for your picture. For me, I like doing that for my pictures where I pull it with my hands with my hips back. That's my go-to for a flat tummy pic. Because my tummy doesn't actually look like this. My tummy looks like this. But I can fake it. I can make it look completely flat just by doing that action. The other one is thigh gap. So most of us, unless you're really thin, most of us do not have thigh gap. But a lot of us can get thigh gap simply by rolling our knees backward. So I'm standing normally like this. I'm going to take my knees, I'm going to lock them, I'm going to push them back, and I'm going to roll to my heels. If I do that, I'm pushing my legs apart and I'm creating thigh gap. Okay? Knees go locked and rolled out, and I can make a gap between my legs. The Kardashians pose like this in every single picture because there's no way that you can have thighs that size that don't touch. And that's because they are pushing their hips back, pushing their knees back, and rolling to the outside of their feet to create thigh gap. No, this is not comfortable. It's anything but comfortable. But if creating that gap between your legs is important, this is how you do it. The last one I'm going to do is how to pose from behind. Now, I do not have a curvy bottom. I cannot fake having a curvy bottom. The only thing that I can do is in a picture, try to push it out and make sure that one foot is always in front of the other. That's the most I can do. If I go directly from the side, I don't know, do I have a butt at all or is it straight? There's not much of a curve there. But if you always go one foot in front of the other, turn, twist, play with it in the mirror so that you know when you go what you have to do. One foot in front of the other, hips stuck out, over the shoulder. Find your poses before you go. That way, as soon as you get to your destination, you know how to rock it. Go, oh yeah, front picture, back picture. And also play with the angles. Know if you like to take your photos from down or from up. They can also create more illusions of slimminess, especially the ones that are taken from the top down. That will make your whole body look slim. But if you want to make your butt look bigger, do it from the bottom up and get your ass right in front of the camera. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope that these tips were helpful in preparing for a beach vacation and that you know how to both dress and feel comfortable and enjoy yourself on your vacation. But alas, this is my 25-pound yo-yo and not how to look great after we just had a pandemic on vacation in a bikini on a beach. So until next time, yo-yo and let's go.